2000, oh, turn that down, 2014 now. As you can see, tackle's out of the loft, ready for our trip this year. Me and Gaz are off this year to Napoleon 1 in France. Last year, if any of you saw our videos, we was at Blue Water, which is actually just around the corner from Napoleon, and we did actually go around and see Napoleon Lake when we were there. Barry was kind enough to let us come around, Jim arranged it for us, and that was good. So we thought we'd try somewhere else again. The Blue Water trip was fine, but we're trying a new venue, and it opens up another opportunity to try something we haven't before. So the gear's down, as you can see. I'm testing it out. I haven't done any fishing since, any carp fishing in this country or in France since last year. I did have a trip to Gillam's in Thailand, which was very interesting. I might go over that just in a brief detail when we're out in France with Gaz, so I can run that over with you. But for now, I've got a week to go. The bait's here, the gear's down, the rigs are tied. I'm almost set. So next time you catch up with us, it'll either be the shot of us on our way to Napoleon or actually on Napoleon Lake. So 1 week to go. Napoleon 1 this year. We'll be there. See you there. Mr. C, well, we have arrived at Napoleon Lake. So we're a little bit early. So before everyone bowl in and get off to a bad start and be told if we're coming too early, we've revisited the Catfish Lake, which is about a mile away, and parked up. This is where, if any of us watched our Blue Water adventure, we came on here and had a little go for the catfish. So we thought we'd park up and
with not much success.
Yeah, another lake we didn't exactly take apart. So we thought we'd just pile up and a little trip down memory lane and have a look at our Catfish Lake. It's a nice blue colour. So there we go. Weather's been a bit rotten on the journey down, but the last hour or so, sun's come out, it's looking good.
Beautiful now.
So we'll be able to get set up around there this afternoon in the dry, get ourselves sorted just in time for the evening session with a bit of luck. So it's all looking good. So next time you catch up with us, we will actually be, and hopefully the camp will be set up and we'll be fishing at Napoleon Lake. Unless Gary falls in the drink here, and then we'll be down the hospital. Right, we've done the draw. We're in swim 4. We was invited to swim 4 because we've got another 4 lads who are pairing up and they want to have a social. So we could have done the draw. They were pretty good. They said if you want to go in the draw, we'd draw. But how do you fancy 4? So we came around and looked at 4, and yeah, we like the look of it. So here we are. It's so what's the time now? It's 3:30 on the Saturday afternoon. As usual, it takes Gaz and me a long time to get set up, but you know, it's on a bit of a point, this swim. It funnels down to as you saw, I come up the footpath. But this is our swim for the week, and Barry's done us proud here. We've got this gazebo thing. We've got a fridge. We've got electricity. We've got this nice bench for the evening, or for whenever. If it rains, you can take shelter without having to be stuck in your bivvy. Our car's just parked just at the end of the track, so you know, anywhere you're fishing, and the car can come very close. 2 bikes provided, and this is our swim. First look at it. Gaz is on the right. I've taken the left. It didn't really matter which side, and we both sort of looked at each other and which side do you want to go, and nothing really. Honestly, neither of us really cared, really. So, having a look at Gaz's swim for the first time. Obviously we're still setting up. There's a swim over there, which is the one which is not being used, so all of this bay is Gary's water. Quick looking at it, we thought it may be a rod down the margin on our near side here might be one to do. Barry's going to come around later, he said, and so you know, we'll pick his brains as you would do to some of the hot spots. the far bank obviously stands out straight away. There's a few marker sticks and bits and pieces over there, so lads have obviously been fishing this side and taking their baits to the other side. I expect the majority do, but until we know exactly what's in the middle and the depths and that, maybe the open water is worth a go. Won't rule anything out. So Gary's on this the right hand side. From this point we look right the way down the lake. The lads are down there. I think the one we can see down there is swim 2, and the other group. So there's 6 of us on the lake. Got some in swim 1, and the lads down there on the right hand side are in swim 2. Swim 3 is not being used, and we're in 4. So I'm on the right hand side. Oh, left hand side. Sorry guys. So straight away looking at my swim, I've got the open water if I want to, more or less 3/4 of the way up there. I could fish any of this open water, but again the tree line looks inviting, so it'll probably be the first go. I can imagine one rod straight here in the middle of the viewfinder where I can see one there. There's an overhanging bush there. It looks a good spot. And I might just put the other 2 up along the margin, not too close to each other, so I'll end up dragging all the rods in if I get one, but yeah, I'll give that a go. So still setting up, as you can see, looking back, nice big clear swim. My pod, I think I put 2 on my pod and 1 on a single. Yeah, so it's all gravelled out, nice and even. And they also provide the weighing post, the unhooking mat. And it's labelled, there we go. Napoleon Lake 1, swim 4. We'll have a look at the rig I'm going to be using. I've got a bit of a change. My usual combi rigs I try, but I'm going to go with fluorocarbon rig to start with and give that a go. So we'll have a quick look at it. X-line as normal, and I've got a safe zone fluoro leader. So didn't have to have a leader. Look at my rig. Oh, let's get that out. I've had these lead weights in my bag for quite a few years, and just for a bit of fun I got them out. I said to the girl, let's have a look at this, and quite like a bit of fun. They're a little bit lighter than a normal lead, but we put it in the water just for a bit of fun, and the thing absolutely completely disappeared. This glass lead, I forget who makes them. That was a few years ago since I've had them, and it actually disappeared completely in the water. So just for a bit of fun, for the first night or so, I'm going to give it a go. And oh, the fluoro IQ2 soft from Corda, I'm going to give that a go. So better carry on with the getting ready. I don't think there's anybody who goes carp fishing who takes longer than us to get ready. There we go. We're nearly there. So we're at Napoleon. The weather looked, actually I mean the weather, you'd imagine it's spot on. It's probably 18, 20 degrees. You know, a bit over cloud, a little bit of a breeze, so it's not too hot. So the conditions look good. I have to think of another excuse if we don't do well. I'm sure we can think of a few. Well, we finally got set up and we're actually fishing. It is now it's coming up to 7 o'clock. There can't be anybody in the history of carp fishing that takes longer than Gary and me to get set up. Baits out, bivvies, all the lot. But we've done it and we've just sat down, thank God. And so we got our 3 rods in each. I'm fishing towards the bank over there. All 3 rods are nailed somewhere along that bank. First one, I'll zoom in nice and slowly. First rod is in the middle of the viewfinder that direction, and I'm evenly placed up the bank. So until I get round there a bit more tomorrow and have maybe a marker float or a feel around and a good look when it's a bit lighter. See some patches, but Barry says it's quite similar along there really. So, but that's where I'm fishing. Probably where most people fish in this swim. It opens out into the middle of the lake. I'm going to go through the weighing post in the way. The rest of the lads who are fishing are up there in swim 1 and 2, as I said earlier. And Gary's put his baits, or 2 of his baits on this far bank and 1 round the corner, so seems a good plan. But at least we're set up and we're fishing at last. So it's been a long day. It's up at 3:30 off, and so it's actually nice to have a little sit down. A few buzzes and noises, and I think we're getting a bit. And Barry did say, he said there's quite a few big roach in here, and some of the anglers are getting a few big roach out, and what we're finding already is we're getting quite a few bites, and the buzzers are going up and down, so maybe it's already the roach are slightly on it, and we're using pellet and corn. I mean, it might be the idea if we get too much stick to keep away from the pellet and just go with the corn. Not the corn, the boilie, get it right in a minute.
The boilie.
Yeah, just be the boilie attack. So, but here we are, more or less a year and a bit since we was at Blue Water. For any one of you who are mad enough to watch our Blue Water adventure, we're now just down the road, a couple of miles down the road at Napoleon 1. And first impressions, it's very good. Like I said, there's the four main swims, and really, out the 4, one of it's probably not fished as much. I'd say swim 3, which is down the bottom of the lake, but we would have taken the other 2 a lot of the time, really happily. So it didn't matter when the other guys wanted to pair up down that end of the lake. We were more than happy to come in here on bigger lakes when there's a dozen swims or so, and some of you don't fancy. You would have taken these, you'd been well happy with what we got. So we were away and we're fishing. So first night, if we get one's a bit of a bonus. I don't know on our dozen years of fishing. Have we nailed many on the first night, do you reckon, mate?
I did at
Pads Lake we did.
Tout Noir.
Tout Noir. Got one there. What's your first impression of this place then, mate?
Yeah, no, it's really nice.
Nice.
I like it. Very well set up. Barry's a really nice guy. Very welcoming.
Yeah, we got a nice welcome. I mean, most places you do, some places are a bit different, but yeah, we got a real nice welcome off of Barry, which is, makes you feel at ease straight away. He's after the welcome and a beer, and we didn't need the draw because we agreed. He came back round again and just gave us a bit of a lake advice and where some of the guys are catching. So that's all you want. There isn't too many rules on Napoleon Lake, so there's a bit of trust. He obviously by chatting he trusts you, so there's not loads of nickety rules that don't need to be there. I mean, there's some, so we're not being overly interrupted by Baz. So there we go, night 1. If we get one, it'll be a bit of a bonus. During the week we go on. Maybe we talked about some of the places we caught first night. We might just quickly have a quick review of some of the other places we have been for anyone who's looking at venues, and we give us our honest review of what we think of some of them, and let you know. So here we go, night 1. It's nice and mild. We're still in the old t-shirt and shorts.
Very pleasant.
Yeah, well, there
Very
we
nice
go.
Indeed. Hello.
There you go. Yeah. Rightio. Napoleon 1. It's Sunday morning after our first night on Napoleon 1. We never had anything last night, goes on me. So heads on it today. This little bay just to our left looks inviting for a rod, so just checking this one out, ready for a spare rod. We did have a few splashes down here during the night, so this could be definitely, well, it's definitely worth a rod. Anyway, to show you where we are from our little camp, just up this little trail here. That's the footpath that goes to the car, which is about a 30-second walk. This is our camp, which, even though we said we was going to keep it tidy, already is not looking tidy. Our bikes. Went down for a walk this morning, they were useful in bikes, brilliant. And back into our swim. Two rods on the pod, one on the bank sticks. Also, just got a little opening here which I went down not so long ago, so without falling in, I could just come down here and again it's just part of the bay we was in earlier. I could probably just flick one out there to them reeds out there. Looks quite inviting, maybe away from the snag. The reeds are a bit, if you get a carp in there, there's probably more chance of getting them out of there, so I could maybe push my luck during the day and lock up and get quite tight to them. At the moment I am all three rods a bit further down onto the open water bank, or that tree line over there. All three are over there, so they were quite close, so maybe one on them reeds in front of us would be the way to go. I'm here when you're here all week. That's the beauty of it. You can you've got time to find a few places to put your bait. So we're going to go for that. Probably leave it another hour, then we might go out to the shop and stock up. But Sunday morning, it's really time now. We were quite tired yesterday. It was the early start, 3 o'clock and out and that, so we both slept well last night. So today, back on the fishing, heads on it. Let's find these spots. It's just gone midday on Saturday. We've been down and stocked up on the usual stock take, so we don't need to go in the shop for a little while. And we've had our dinner, and we thought we'd come down to this little quiet corner, rod each for Gaz and me, keeping quiet. I'm actually sitting on the floor in my plastic bag, doing a little bit of stalking for a couple of hours before we go up and watch Liverpool beat Spurs. Wouldn't usually miss an afternoon's fishing for football, but hey, we're a week, so our plan is to stick it here for a couple of hours. Go up and watch the football, have a shower, then come back and be fishing 5 o'clock for the evening. But we did see a few bubbles and that in this corner, so we'll give it a try for a couple of hours and see how it goes. Nice and quiet down here. Well, it wasn't until we came here anyway. We're down in swim 3. I'd imagine this swim on Napoleon is the one that probably doesn't get fished as much as the others, but we're looking right up at the lake. Our swim, which is 4, as I said before, will be, let me zoom into that, on that point. Can't quite see Gaz's bivvy, but we're there. So we just moved from that little hole we were in around the corner, which was bubbling away, but as quiet as we went in there, the bubbles seemed to disappear pretty quick. We weren't using the lead or anything, so tried not to scare anything, but who knows. So we just moved around here for a little while. One rod lobbed in and right in at the margin. Overly fancying my chances. If it was the last afternoon I hadn't caught, I'd have been back on there. I'd be back in the swim with the 3 rods out, but when you've got a week, nice to just sit in a different swim and take a different look at things, and no real harm done. We're only for another hour anyway. So while we're here, we thought we'd review a couple of the other venues we've been to, which obviously we really took apart in each venue. We gave them all a real caning, so just for people who are thinking of going, just review a couple. I think the first lake, well I know, the first lake we ever went to was Pads Lake. That must have been 10 years ago now, I reckon.
Yep.
Do you reckon 10? Yeah, 10.
A good 10 years.
Good 10 years, yeah, shows we're getting on a bit. So we went there. That was when Tom, the English fellow, was running it, and I think he lost a lease, I think, or something, and I think the owner, Mrs. Roger, took over, and probably still rumbling on. We did okay. It was very exciting because it was our first ever French trip, so that was a bit of fun. So we gave that a go, and we caught a few, up to 30. Probably caught 20 between us, I reckon, a few small catfish. I can't remember now, but it was a good fun trip for our first one. And since then we've had a couple of trips to Mirrorpool down in Limoges, and the other water on there, Syndicate Millstone. Recommend all of them really. They were all both lakes were really nice. I had a 56 out of Mirror. Gary had quite a few out of Millstone, and he was on a good swim there. And yeah, he did alright. Did right down in the shallows, did really well there. So I recommend both them lakes for anyone. Mirrorpool and Millstone are quite established names. So actually, they're both nice, but really the atmosphere of Mirrorpool, 4 swims against small water, smaller than this. For some reason, it's a cracking atmosphere there, and the view from the dam on Mirrorpool, absolutely, it's lovely. It's a lovely setting just to be there. And Gary struggled then and went back and caught. So to start with, fair play. It's hard. It can be hard water. Well, we can make any water hard. So, and since then we've been to Laterno, another lake we would recommend. We enjoyed that. We were lucky enough to have that water all by ourselves. And Dan, the owner there, he was very laid back, and nothing to bother him, and he left us alone. Nice guy. And yeah, another lake we would definitely recommend. We caught a few. Definitely, Gary caught early in the week, and I probably caught more later in the week, up to just over 60. So we recommend that. We've been to Water Lily Lake as well, which is right near here somewhere. Very weedy. We didn't come in and criticise. We say it as we see it. If it was great, I'd say so, but we didn't catch a great deal there. We probably didn't fish it that well. We had 6 lines in one bay really. We were just trying to work together, but the weed was, to us, was no good. It was far too weedy. So we've given that. Anywhere else? We were Blue Water last year for anyone who watched our other Moulin de Blay, Moulin. Lovely looking lake. Really nice looking lake, and the catfish lake right next to it was good fun, which Tony, the owner, let us, well, it's part of it. No one was fishing it. We had some good fun on there, caught some mid-60s I think, or just under 70, and we was on Moulin, and it was a really hot week. It was one of the hottest weeks fishing away we'd been, and whether they weren't playing ball, but we probably only had 2 or 3 between us, and it was hard going. And there was a couple of other lads who had fished it previously, and who recommended it. They liked it there, but they didn't do much any better than us, and they'd seen Moulin fish a lot better than that, so maybe it just wasn't us. But yeah, so that was okay. Anywhere else? No, we've fully covered them, and the only other place, as I mentioned on the introduction, was for anyone ever thinking of a bit more of a trip, I went to Thailand, to Gillam's, and that was a great adventure, a holiday as well. You know, for a couple of 2 or 3 days fishing at Gilham's, and we moved on to the little village near Ornang, and then to Phuket for a holiday. So that was good fun. But anyway, I recommend Gilham's as a really good place to go fishing. There's I caught a Mekong catfish 130, Siamese carp 80. I was only there a couple of days, and so this time I'm going back soon. So I'll give that a go just after Christmas. So, but anyone thinking of that, I think there's quite a lot of venues now popping up in Thailand, all very nice. Arapaima, Mekongs, all sorts of exotic species to have a bash at. But yeah, all I can say is went to Gilham's. Would honestly say it's not the cheapest place to go in the world fishing, but it's a quality fishery. The lodges there are clean and tidy. There's a restaurant on site. They bring the food to your swims, and then you fish from 7 in the morning to 8 at night. And all the staff who were there, were really helpful. The guides were great. They give you as much help as you wanted, or if you were coping and okay, they leave you alone. But yeah, definitely recommend that. I really enjoyed it. Looking forward to going back. Quite fancy an Arapaima, mind you. At the moment, quite fancy a carp here, but it's only our first full day. We've got our own up. There's 2 other people fishing the lake, 2 other pairs, and there's 2 fish being caught. So we, sod's law, are the group who hasn't caught. But there we go. We will. We're going to get one. Okay, Monday morning now. Started off a bit misty from the shots you might have seen earlier, and no fish unfortunately. So we're getting a bit edgy now. But you carry on learning about the lake. A couple of mine I brought in this morning. Well, definitely one absolutely lock solid. That noise, which it wasn't the Titanic going down. That's Creswell trying to cast his zig rig. Anyway, so I get to the zigs. We noticed this morning in the middle of the lake, halfway up, there was carp topping. Oh, he's got his cast. That sounded better. So we saw carp topping, head and shouldering out quite consistently for an hour or so. So when we brought our rods in, we thought we both stuck out. So we're going to. Well, mine's out there, put out a zig rig in the middle, so kind of seems sense. But yeah, so everybody says fish to tree margin. It's probably what most people do on any lakes. Features, there's islands and margins and overhanging trees. You fish them, you want to get close to them. You can't be 100% sure what's lurking on the bottom, and we seem to have been snagged a bit, so hasn't been ideal. So this morning when this rod on the single pod to the left of the shot here, that was lock solid. It didn't even move. As soon as I went to reel it in, absolutely lock solid. So I went around there. Lucky enough, there's a rake on a rope. So I went round to the far bank, which if I zoom in, just to that bush. Lucky enough, I chucked the rake in, and about third go, I managed to pull up these great big tree branches and bits and pieces, and there was my rig and bait sitting nicely wrapped round. I would never have pulled it out. I'd have snapped and lost everything. So it wasn't good. So I'm pushing my luck. I'm going to have to back off. Although I did rake it a bit, I made a bit of a commotion, and the bottom seems a lot better now. Actually, when there's no dead wood, which is going to happen from overhanging trees, when there's no when you don't get them, the bottom's quite even and gravelly. You probably get good presentation. And actually, I managed to see. I'm definitely not the only one who's lost my gear, because as we can see here, I found quite a nice little collection of bits and pieces all wrapped around the same branch. So other people have pulled for pulled for brake and lost all their gear. Well, you don't want to lose your gear, and more importantly, you don't want to lose you don't want to leave a rig tethered up with a bait onto the tree, which is definitely the most important thing. So it actually worked out quite well, even if chucking a rake in your swim and making a splash might be good for tench. So I remember reading, but I can't see it doing a great deal of good for the swim. But so 2 rods are back out on the bottom. We've got the glass factory in the background, as you can hear. Obviously a bottling depot or something, so that's chomping away, but it hasn't really disturbed the piece too much. So we've both got zigs on, and we're both still on the bottom. Pull back a bit from the margin. And one thing you've got to be doing is fishing. And if your bait's tied up on a tree, you ain't doing diddly. Have you got anything extra to add to that on this wonderful day, Mr. C?
No.
No? No. Not at all. No words of wisdom. What is your tactic for today?
I thought I would go with the cunning plan
Cunning?
of doing exactly what I did yesterday.
Doing exactly what you did yesterday, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah. Giving it, I suppose it's the theory, you know, bait in one place one night goes, bait doesn't go the next night, or there's no. The more you stick at something, the more chance. The law of averages. Or is there another plan?
Said, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome.
Right.
So that's me.
Quotes from Criswell. What makes a madman sane makes a sane man mad, isn't it? Something like that. Anyway,
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, there's a topper out there now. Zigs are the way. We are on the zigs. We were quite lazy because you haven't put a blooming marker float out, which is absolutely madness, really. Cause we're guessing at the depth of what. Well, we're not guessing. We're doing what the owner told us. So he told us the depth. So we've rigged it. We don't see our bait on the surface, so it is under the drink. So it must be three quarters of the way up in the water. We hope. Just go over the rig for tonight. Just going to change a couple of bits. Tungsten fluorocarbon leader. Size 3 1/4 grip of lead. And Gardner disruption hook link. Little weight down to keep it down.